Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here at my next Avatar video. This video is going to be basically a description of a lot of the release date information about Avatar: The Last Airbender North and South Part 1, the upcoming comic, and also how I'm going to be covering it, the various places you will see reviews, podcasts, that sort of thing. So, let's immediately start off with the release date information. North and South Part 1, first part of a brand new comic series, the follow-up to Smoke and Shadow, is going to be released this upcoming Wednesday, September 14th, 2016, of course, in comic book stores. The 14th is the comic book store release date. You won't find it in any other stores outside of comic book stores on the 14th, which means that the only places that you'll be able to get the book online for in or around the 14th will be comic shops that sell their books online. The release date for sites like Amazon, where a lot of you will have it pre-ordered, and regular bookstores that sell comics, will be the 27th. That's always the way it's worked with these Avatar comics. The comic shop gets it 13 days before regular bookstores. Or, I suppose the more effective way to say it is just that the mass market release is 13 days after the comic book store release date. That's always the case. I always see people confused by different release dates for these books, but they're the official release dates for this book. So, that means that if you want to get the book the day it comes out, you'll want to find a comic book store, a local comic book store, and get the book physically. As far as I'm aware, the digital release is probably going to be closer to the 27th than the 14th. Dark Horse is always a little weird about these graphic novels being released digitally, in that they don't consider this a single issue, but they also don't really consider it like a trade paperback, so it's kind of weird the kind of situation it's in digitally. But I think in around the 27th it should be available to buy digitally from Dark Horse Digital and those type of sites. So that's more or less all the release date information. If you are going to go searching for the book and don't really know a lot about it, here's what the cover looks like. So that's basically just so you know what you're actually looking for when you go into the store. That's the cover. North and South Part 1, and it's obviously kind of on the smaller side compared to a lot of other comics, because it's kind of small graphic novel sized. Obviously it's fairly, I think, kind of stand out on the shelf just because it's kind of that Avatar art style. But that is the release date information. Now, how will I be covering this book on my channel? Here, YouTube Airspeed Prime channel. How will I be covering it on the site, Avatar: The Last Airbender Online.com, that I run? And how will I be covering it on the Avatar podcast that I run, the Avatar Online podcast? So, straight away, the question I've been asked recently is, where's your early review? Why don't you have an early kind of preview review this time out? Well, the reason for that is quite simply because the previous times I've been given digital review copies by Dark Horse themselves. And I've been trying to contact Dark Horse for the past 2 months or so. I've been sending them emails basically every week, asking what's up with this, what's with the lack of communication, are you not giving me review copies anymore, or what? Just asking what the situation is, what's with the lack of replies, and I still haven't got a reply to this day. So I'm not sure what's up with that. It has happened to me before. It happened with Smoke and Shadow Part 2. I just couldn't get in touch with them, but then for some reason they got back in touch with me for Smoke and Shadow Part 3. So, I don't know, I'm hoping this is just a thing where they just happened to be super busy at the time and just kind of missed my email every time I sent it. Seems a bit weird given the amount of emails I sent, but that just seems to be the case. So yeah, no early review, which means that you're going to have to wait until the 14th when I can actually get a hold of the book to actually review it. And my plan is to get a review out on the 14th. In the past, before I've been getting review copies, I've managed to get reviews out the day of release, but they've been kind of earlier in the day. This time it'll probably be later on in the day, just because I want a bit more time to read the book and plan out the review a little bit more. So in terms of my YouTube video review, that will absolutely be out on the 14th, assuming I can get the book, which in the most recent releases hasn't been a problem. I've managed to get a copy day of release every single time. This time I expect I will be able to get it, but again, that's no guarantee. So realistically, you will see they've released the 14th video review on my channel. I'll probably split it into like a couple of minutes non-spoiler talk for anyone who's still waiting to get the book, and then longer form towards the end of the video, spoiler thoughts. But I still won't be going super in-depth because of other stuff I will have planned. I don't really think I'll be able to get the written review for Avatar: The Last Airbender Online.com, the fan site, out day of release. I'm going to try, but with trying to get this review out, for the video review out, and then just kind of lack of time, I may not have enough time come the end of the 14th to get the review out. But realistically, I'll probably have it out 14th or the 15th. Or I'll keep you informed about what exactly is going on with that. Those written reviews definitely are like the longest posts. Like every time they come around, they take a long time to write, just because trying to word things, correctly, make it really kind of detailed, but also kind of easy to read and stuff like that. That's what I want out of the kind of written reviews. So expect that in or around the 14th, maybe not on the date. Final way is probably my favorite way of covering these comics every time they come out, which is the podcast review. So Avatar: The Last Airbender Online.com. I host the site's podcast, which is the Avatar Online podcast. Every time a new release Avatar comic comes out, we get together, myself and the main hosts, and basically read through the book page by page, analyzing each page, each scene, dialogue if needed depending on the scene, and we go in depth basically. Most of the times these reviews are 2+ hours long, maybe longer depending on how much kind of detail there is in the comic. So expect something like that on the weekend, the day of the week of release, which is going to be, I think it's the 18th. Yeah, because today's the 11th. Yeah, so we're recording on Sunday. So yeah, the 18th is probably going to be when that podcast comes out. So a bit after release, but it's going to give us time to all read the book, get our thoughts out, and be ready for that podcast. And so look out for that on the site. I'll do a video as well. Like I'll put up a video basically telling you guys about that podcast, where you can download and stuff like that when it's out, because I know those are definitely some of our more popular videos when they do come out, because not a lot of places do really in-depth reviews of the comics. So there's that. And then realistically, like you'll probably see at least probably one other video from me talking about North and South Part 1. It'll probably be a little bit afterwards, probably the following week, middle of the week, the following week, just with some extra thoughts, with just, like a lot more time since my initial thoughts to just get my kind of complete thoughts together on the book. So, you'll see at least 4 or 5 different kind of videos, podcasts, kind of articles about North and South Part 1. This is definitely like, the stuff that I do is definitely going to be like one of the best places to get information and analysis on this comic. So definitely look out for that. But yeah, I think that's basically all I wanted to say. So in the comments, let me know what your thoughts are. How excited are you for North and South Part 1? And definitely kind of, if you want extra information about where you can find the podcast right now or anything like that, let me know in the comments below. So I'm just going to end the video by saying, if you want to follow me on social media, links to my Twitter and Tumblr are in the description below. If you want to help support my channel so I can make more videos, better videos, links to my Patreon page and my PayPal donation link are also in the description as well. But that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.